Finally, the Mikhail Mudryk pursuit transfer is definitely one that has officially begun. Hello everyone and thank you for watching. As not I had and make it a point to subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on anything as not I had has to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related. We're definitely dedicated and we want to be the first people to make sure that we bring it to your straight as comes in. And for now, we're talking about a few things. We're talking about mainly one football player who is all over the news, whom everybody is talking about. Many television stations, radio stations are talking about the one and only Mikhail Mudryk, who is a Shakhtar Donetsk football player, and also his nationality, and he's played for his national team too, and that is the Ukraine national team. He's from Ukraine and he is a marvelous football player, a very good football player, and he's been eyed by a number of clubs. I hope you remember that loads of clubs have been eyeing this gentleman, making sure they can get moves, making sure they can try and get this gentleman, make this gentleman move to their clubs, but he's looked seemingly uninterested. He's not been interested in joining clubs just as yet. But what is coming in is good news with Arsenal that have been trying to pursue this gentleman, and for some reason Arsenal have now officially begun the transfer, and it will be remembered that what sparkled this was an injury that was obtained by Gabriel Jesus, who got a 3 months injury, and different sources said that it could even take a longer, it could be more than anticipated, and we could probably see Gabriel Jesus taking more than 3 months out of English Premier League. He could not be playing for possibly 3 big months, or three plus, and that definitely leaves Arsenal with quite a lot to do, because Gabriel Jesus is one of the main football players that helped Arsenal to make sure that they are in the first position, and he scored quite a big number of goals. And if he cannot score these goals again, that definitely means that Arsenal will have to face a rough. It won't. Arsenal will not maintain the position that it is in. And right now, Arsenal that is in the first position, it is looking at making sure that it maintains the first position. But to maintain the first position, more goal scorers are definitely needed. And this is something Mikel Arteta has been looking into, and making sure that the general transfer window is something that will be treated with much respect and a lot of dignity and time, to make sure they get quite a number of football players who will help in winning the English Premier League. It will be remembered that there was a meeting between Josh Carrionke, Stan Carrionke, and then the technical director of Arsenal, Mr. Edu Gaspar, and not forgetting that the manager himself, Mikel Arteta, was also in this meeting, where the sporting director, Mr. Edu Gaspar, and Mikel Arteta, the current manager of Arsenal, requested Josh and Stan Carrionke that they can add, because what was given, or what was being suggested to be given, which was 50 million pound for the general transfer window, they regarded it as a little, because they want to make sure that reinforcement is something that is done in the forward section of Arsenal. So they have been looking for a perfect replacement of Gabriel Jesus. Not exactly a perfect replacement, but they have been looking at a football player who will be capable of playing much more, or actually better than Gabriel Jesus, more especially at this point in time that Gabriel Jesus is not able to help his club. Let us know what you think about this in the comment section, so that we definitely move along. And so this gentleman who's been playing at Shakhtar Donetsk and he scored quite a number of goals for Shakhtar. Uh, he's been eyed by loads of clubs. No wonder you can see the reason as to why he's been eyed. He's only 21 years and he's got a big future ahead of him. And that's one of the reasons as to why clubs are thinking that it will be a good thing to have this gentleman. So Arsenal are not taking any chances of leaving this gentleman behind, leaving this superstar football player behind, and he can be picked by opponents. And that's one of the reasons as to why this is definitely good. Somebody asked me why do you think a Mikhail Mudryk transfer will definitely happen? Officially, it has started, but even before, I told you that Mikhail Mudryk transfer is most likely going to happen simply because when you look at the age bracket of Mikhail Mudryk, he's only 21 years, and Mikel Arteta likes kids. He likes young talent. He likes getting talent, training the talent, making the talent much more better. And then after some time they can sell the talent, but he likes molding it and getting positive results out of it. Remember, Arsenal is a young team club. The club is full of young football players like Smith Rowe, like Edin Ketia, Marquinhos, who is a new entrant, and also a few more. Fabio, all of them are still young players, and that shows you that the percentage of Mikel Arteta going in for Mikhail Mudryk is way too big. So Mikhail Mudryk has a bigger percentage that he definitely will come. The transfer has officially begun, and we are definitely looking forward to making sure that everything goes on quite well. And as actually told you before, this is going to be a bit much more easier than other transfers. It's not just a mere speculation. It's not just a mere speculation. This is something that is definitely going to happen. So other people were saying possibly that they think it's not it's not because they said I had people saying Mikhail Mudryk can't be compared to Gabriel Jesus because Gabriel Jesus has years of experience. Yes, but everybody has to start from somewhere. Not so. I think everybody has to start from somewhere. Gabriel Jesus is a bit old. He still has the experience to play, but he's a bit old, and you can't count him in the next 6-7 years. He will not be performing as well as this gentleman will be performing in 6-7 years. When you look at Mikhail Mudryk in 7 years, he possibly will be a very good football player, very wonderful football player. He already is, and he's shown this by how he's been playing recently for the Ukrainian national team and also for Shakhtar. While he's been at Shakhtar, he's been playing quite well. His accuracy, dribbling skills, definitely everything is always on point when it comes to Mikhail Mudryk, and no wonder everybody, almost all clubs, have been looking forward to making sure that they can have this gentleman. So the mere fact that there is a big injury at Arsenal, and when there was quite a few signings before, we talked about this and said in case there is an injury, Arsenal is definitely going to have a little bit of bad time in case of an injury. Reason being, if there is an injury at Arsenal, something is not going to go on quite well because all the big players are in the starting 11, and when you look at the bench of Arsenal, it's a little bit weak. That's the mere fact. A bench of Arsenal, it's good but a little bit weak. So more football players definitely need to come online. More football players need to be bought, and if these football players are bought, we think making the bench even much more better, making the bench much more better is something that will definitely be quite good for the club. Otherwise, which part of the world are you watching from, and which part of the country watching from? Make it a point to subscribe and ring that notification bell, as we are talking about Shakhtar Donetsk, a football player, one of the best Ukrainian national football players. And guess who? That is none other than the one and only Mikhail Mudryk, who is definitely set to join Arsenal, as everything is set for this gentleman to join Arsenal, as the technical director, Mr. Edu Gaspar, gentleman, and all is definitely set for this gentleman to be part of the club. I think all will definitely go well. I think all will go well for this gentleman and him joining the club. And why not? Why not? I think he will. He will, if he joins the club. If he joins the club, he will perform. He will definitely perform. All that will be needed to be done is give him quite enough gameplay, and he will make sure that he does what has failed by many people. He is one of the best he's one of the best in the football world. When we talk about wingers, when we talk about strikers, he is definitely one to get. He is always looking at scoring goals, goal after goal, goal after goal. He is a very dangerous man when it comes to attacking. He's definitely a beast when it comes to attacking, and he can play as a defensive midfielder sometimes on rare occasions, and also a central midfielder, then an attacking midfielder. But mainly he is a winger. He is a very beautiful football player, very good, experienced. Though still young, he's got quite a big experience with other football clubs, big clubs. Otherwise, thank you for watching Arsenal Diehards, and make it a point to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you do not miss out on anything Arsenal Diehards has to bring to you, as long as it is Arsenal related. Thank you and goodbye for now.